Hi guys, and welcome to this video on Calor gas bottles. I'm probably a little bit late to the table with this one, nothing unusual there, but I thought I had everything sorted out, so I didn't think it was going to be much of a big deal for me. What I'm talking about is obviously the withdrawal of the 4.5 butane Calor bottles and the 3.9 propanes, the red ones, and I believe they've also done away with the 6 kilogram ones as well, which are slightly taller. They're 50 centimeters taller. Anyway, they've now stopped, and you can still find the odd one or two, but they're not replacing them. They're a bit hard to come by. Now, you've also got others out there, i.e. Flow Gas. They do a 4.5, but I understand, although I can't find anything on the net to back it up, but I understand that Flow Gas are planning to withdraw their 4.5s as well. It seems to be a unilateral decision across the production companies of these products. So Flow Gas isn't a long-term option either. It's a proper nightmare, but that's just the way it is. We've got to live with it. And if, like me, I have quite a small gas locker in the back of my Fiat Tribute, and it's presented me with no end of problems. But I thought I had everything under control. My plan was to change over to refillables. I quite like the idea from the word go, really. Looked into getting a couple of equivalent 4.5s, would have fitted in my locker nicely, would have had an external filling point outside, so I would have gone into a garage doing LPG, filled it up just like I would have done the diesel tank. I did quite a bit of research on it. I got to the point where I'd almost committed myself to buy the entire kit, 2 bottles, etc. It was the best part of 600 quid. And then I thought I'll just do a little bit more digging, because I looked into the refillable bottles, which you can buy, and you can take those to garages and fill those up, etc, etc. I looked into the lightweight ones, which you can get sort of like patio gas and stuff like that. They're all compatible. Got to change valves and stuff like that, but I could have used those. Then it came to me while searching the net that in actual fact LPG filling stations are going to be a thing of the past by the end of 2024. All the major garages, Texaco, BP, Esso, all those big boys, they are going to be withdrawing LPG where it is currently still available, and they're declining all the time. And in favour, they're going to be putting EV, electric vehicle charging points in. So liquid petroleum gas at a fuel station is going to be virtually impossible, causing all kinds of dilemmas really for people that, you know, a few years ago they were run your car on gas. What's happened now? You can't buy the stuff anywhere for love nor money in the UK. On the continent, on the other hand, yes, the LPG is still available, and it will be, because obviously the campers and the motorhomes are in their swarms over there in Europe, so they've got no reason to withdraw it. So I thought to myself, there's not a lot of point in me spending all that money on a refillable system when I'm going to spend most of my time in the UK. So I'm strapped up now into a situation where I'm thinking, do I put in a 1 cylinder? I've got room for 2 bottles in my locker. Do I put 1 refillable and an external filling point? So when I'm on the continent, which I plan to do a lot more of, but it's a minority in terms of UK travelling around. Do I put one of those in and maybe get a refillable lightweight one from Home Base? Do them? They're all over the place, but I'm looking at different fittings and almost a split system. So I think at the moment that's probably the way I'm going to have to go. I've been fortunate, and I can still get these, and I currently have 10, I think I've got 10 or 12 of these. So I know a man that knew a man who knew where some were. So I've got more than enough to see me through this year and probably into the next, so I've got a little bit more time to think about it. But my whole point of this little video was to make sure, or to let you know, make you aware that if you're thinking of putting in a refillable system and you spend the majority of your time in the UK, next year it's going to be pretty much a waste of time, because you won't be able to fill it up without traveling for miles and miles, if indeed there are still any that stick with it. Because if you read the internet, you'll see the posts and the regulating body that controls basically all the fuel garages and direction of etc., regardless of who they are stated that by 2024 they will phase out LPG at fuel filling stations. So you're going to be very restricted, and it's quite an outlay. If on the other hand you're spending a lot of time on the continent, then it's going to work for you. So I think what I'm going to have to do in order to get these 4.5s in my locker is to split my system, and I'll probably go one refillable and I'll keep the blue ones for the time being, or put an exchangeable bottle in there. So when I go abroad, my gas lasts me for ages, don't get me wrong, you know, I'm talking months and months. I think in 7 or 8 months, I think if I put 3 bottles in it, I'll be surprised. So I think that's the way forward for me. I'm going to go probably half and half, put a refillable one in that's externally filled from the outside for when I'm on the continent, and then I'll have me trusty replaceable one on the inside for UK use. What other alternatives are there other than getting away from gas altogether? I didn't want to have to start chopping my locker about. Unfortunately, the 7 kilo, Calor do a 7 kilo one of these. They've got rid of the 6, I believe, but they do a 7 kilo, and the bottles are the same size, and they are 50 centimeters high. And when I put the bottle in my locker, it went in like that, but it wouldn't sit straight. So I was probably about an inch, maybe an inch and a half too short on my height. But I don't want to start chopping my locker about, purely and simply because it's a factory build and I want to keep it that way. So I'm going to do everything I can to maintain its integrity. And that's about it. So do your research, do your homework, be careful what you do and what you spend your money on, because otherwise in the future it could well be wasted. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it's been of use to you. Certainly thrown a spanner in my works, because I was just going to go completely refillable, and that was it, job done. Just go to a petrol station and fill up when I wanted to. But sadly, next year that's going to be one thing of the past. Take care. Thanks for watching. Happy camping. See you out there. Bye.